Welcome to the Idiot Box. This is The Tomorrow War. The film starts with war veteran Dan Forrester, who is currently working at a local high school as biology teacher. He has been trying to get a job in the Army as a researcher. Dan and his family are hosting a Christmas party, where Dan receives the call regarding his job application. He is notified that ultimately, the Army went with someone with more experience. This causes Dan to rage out on a nearby dumpster. Dan returns to the party and watches the internationally televised Live World Cup. In the middle of the match, a portal opens, causing everyone watching to freak out. Several armed soldiers pour out of the portal. They announce that they are from year 2051, and in year 2048, aliens called White Spikes suddenly appeared in northern Russia and wiped out most of the humans on the planet within 3 years. In response, world's present-day military is being sent into the future through a wormhole device called a jump link, but fewer than 30% survive their 7-day deployment. This causes global leaders to initiate a worldwide draft. At school, Dan has a student, Martin, who always wants to talk about volcanoes.
Volcanoes are nature's fury, guy.
Remember this, folks. It's gonna be important. While teaching, Dan receives the draft notice, which orders him to report to the nearest conscription office. There, he is put onto a testing machine and notified that he is fit for conscription and fitted with a temporal armband. He is also told that he will die in 7 years. He is told to attend to his personal affairs in 24 hours and report for basic training. Dan tells his wife, Emmy, about the draft, who wants them and their daughter, Muri, to go on a run, and asks him to visit his father, for he is the only person who has been able to do so. Dan goes to meet his father, James, an ex-Air Force captain and now a mechanical engineer, to help remove Dan's armband. James had abandoned Dan and his mother after returning from the Vietnam War, believing himself too dangerously unstable to remain with them. Fearing that removing the armband could cause retaliation against his family, Dan reports for basic training. The draftees are told that their term of duty would be 7 days long, and if they survive at the end of 7th day, the armband will bring them back to the present. Dan meets with fellow draftee Charlie, a scientist. They notice that most of the draftees are old and surmise that draftees are probably chosen because they will die sometime before the future war starts. To prevent a paradox, the draftees are sent forward in time to a battlefield on Miami Beach, although few survived the initial drop due to a malfunction, causing them to appear high above the ground in a different spot than planned. With the city already lost, their commander orders the draftees to rescue nearby lab personnel before sterilizing the area. The draftees make their way to the research lab. They found out that all the researchers are dead, but Dan is able to recover the research. On their way to the exit, the squad is attacked by the aliens. Dan is trapped with a white spike and fights it alone. Dorian, a battle-hardened soldier on his 3rd deployment, kills the white spike and tells Dan to target the neck or bellies. The evacuation trucks are overrun by the aliens, and rest of the squad members sacrifice themselves to let Dan escape with the research. Only Dan, Charlie, and Dorian survive the white spikes and the bombing. Dan awakens in a military encampment in the Dominican Republic. He converses with Charlie and Dorian, where Dorian tells the duo that the reason he keeps returning to future because he has cancer, and he wants to die at his own terms, fighting. Dan meets his commander, Colonel Muri Forrester, Dan's now adult daughter. Muri tells Dan there is a toxin that kills the male white spikes, but not the female queens, who are rarer and more dangerous. Muri wants Dan's help in capturing a female white spike to formulate a toxin fatal to the queens. They trap a female, but hundreds of males descend on their position. As a helicopter transports the female, Dan and Muri escape to a beach where they shoot a flare for rescue. Dan asks Muri about what happened to him in the past timeline. Muri says he became disillusioned after failing to get the research center job, eventually divorcing Emmy, and then dying in a car crash several years later when Muri was 16. Dan, Muri, and the female white spike are transported to a fortified offshore oil platform where the jump link is located. After many tests and iterations, Muri develops a toxin that kills female white spikes, but it cannot be mass-produced in that time period. She tells Dan to take it into the past to produce it there. Preventing the war, white spikes swarm the base and, while attempting to escape together, Muri sacrifices herself to return Dan to the past. The jump link is destroyed shortly after Dan's return, which the world interprets as a sign that the future war is lost. Dan and Emmy later deduce that the White Spikes arrived on Earth much earlier than 2048 because whatever brought them to Earth was never found. After finding volcanic ash on an alien spike, Dan and Charlie consult with Dan's student. Martin told you that this would be important. It is determined that the White Spikes have likely been on Earth at least since the Millennium eruption in 946 BC. And that global warming melting the polar ice caps allowed them to emerge from beneath the surface.
There it is.
They didn't wait it out. They thawed out.
As global chaos erupts and after the U.S. Defense Secretary dismisses their theory, Dan leads a mission to Russia with James, Charlie, Dorian, and stranded future soldiers. A crashed alien ship is found buried beneath a glacier. Inside the ship, the team discovers that other alien beings killed in the crash brought the White Spikes, possibly as bioweapons to cleanse planets of life. Although Earth might not have been the target, they inject the toxin into several dormant White Spikes, destroying them, but that action awakens the rest of the colony. The Queen White Spike hatches and kills most of the team members before escaping. Dorian stays behind and blows up the ship. Dan and James pursue the Queen. After a fierce fight, Dan shoves the lethal toxin down the Queen's throat, killing her. Only Dan, James, and Charlie survive, content knowing that the war is averted and humanity is saved. Dan brings James home to meet Emmy and Muri, and is determined to avoid the same mistakes that the future Muri warned him about. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe for more.